Passover. Again, Passover is the holiday of redemption, and tapping into the now energy, which is this energy that's constantly being recreated, this new energy of infinite possibilities, infinite potential, infinite abundance, infinite love that's really available for us in the now, right here, right now, at every single moment, being a new moment, really allows us to tap into really what is redemptive consciousness, right? When we're tapping into that flow of energy, that what was, right? It's not about the past, it's not about the future. But when we're really living in the now, what happens? We're open, we're present, we're expansive. We're really open and present and expansive to receive all that's available for us, the infinite possibilities and potential that is available for us. Now, what is the challenge really of being in this moment, like now, and really staying in this present moment really is our mind, because our mind, again, and we spoke about this before, that our mind is just programmed based on the past. And because of the past, we're very much make, presumptions about what's going to be in the future. But again, nothing really exists except for this moment, because if this moment is new and a totally new energy is coming down that never existed from the beginning of creation, the past and the future really are not, they're not at all, they're not something that really is important. It's not something that's even relevant to us, because we really just have this moment. And in order to really step into the present moment, it's really releasing from the mind, which is really the place of slavery, of an enslavement to our minds. And really, again, like that's why this came at the after our last class of really being in the body, being in a place of a regulated body, being in a place where our bodies are regulated, because only then, when we're in that open, expansive place and our bodies are regulated, we're able to step out of the mind into the body and really into the present moment. But what really keeps us, again, in the past, in the present, and in this mode that prevents us and makes it difficult to align to the now, is really the energy, I feel like, of doing. The difference between doing mode and being mode, right? We're in this era of redemption, which is the era of Shabbos. Shabbos is a state of being. Right. And when we're in a state of being and we're not in this 6 days of the week mode, which is just the mode of doing and productivity and striving and thriving, and we have to do and do and do and do, when we're actually able to be like Shabbos, just be, then what are we doing? We're tapping into that flow. We're tapping into that flow of energy in the universe, where again, we're in that creative flow and we're able to access even stillness. I remember like sitting outside one morning and I was just busy and busy and busy. And then all of a sudden I was like, I took a moment of stillness and I noticed outside there were so many birds chirping and the winds rustling. But because we're so always we're in the mode of doing and being and accomplishing and to-do lists and checklists, right? We're not able to access the stillness. And it's really in the stillness, in the quiet, when we actually are able to access the now. Now, many of us also, we come into this world because of experiences or just with beliefs. I think I've seen this a lot, where a lot of us have very deep beliefs that is almost like a taskmaster. There's different parts of ourselves, which is like, it's really a defender part of ourselves, which is a taskmaster, right? Like right before we're coming into the holiday of Passover. And I think many of us live within ourselves with like taskmaster, right? Like someone with a whip, part of ourselves, like this inner child, you could say, that just has a whip and is like, you got to perform, you got to produce, like Pitom and Ramses, you got to like work hard, and the females do the male work and the male do the females work. And we're building on quicksand because we got to do, right? And we need to work really hard. And what happens when we get in this mode of doing and accomplishing and productivity and striving, what happens? And a lot of us, I could say this very much for myself, because I lived there for very many years, we're used to living on this adrenaline, right? We're used to living in fight or flight mode. And what happens is, because of that, we lose connection to ourselves, right? And in that way, it's more difficult for us. It's a challenge for us to access our creativity, because again, that creative flow really comes from that place of stillness, of slowing down. And when we're in this place of flow, what I really experienced in doing this work of being versus doing, and this taskmaster and this striver, is we can accomplish so much in a shorter time. Like I think there's a sense sometimes that we have to have a work day that's a certain amount of hours, and we go to work, we clock in at 9 and we finish at 5, and there's this like programming of this is how we work, right? But when we're really in the place of being, right? So often, and I found this for myself, that what really would take me 5 hours, I could do in an hour, right? With a being energy. And what happens then also is that the quality of it improves, because it's not about necessarily how much work we do, but even the quality improves because we're in it. Like we're not just like a checklist, right? And very often, another thing that I've experienced with myself, and I've seen this with many other people, is that when we have this taskmaster energy and we're in doing mode instead of being mode, what happens? We get used to drama. We get used to excitement. Again, because when you're in doing mode all the time, right, then you are in this adrenaline state, and adrenaline creates drama and excitement. And our nervous system just kind of becomes used to and wired for excitement and high energy. And very often, what happens is instead of we distract ourselves from that place, right? And that's when addictions come in, or food, or addictions to our mind. But when we really can step out of that place and realize that we are fully worthy of God's abundance, and God is in the being energy and the stillness, and we allow ourselves to be in that place of flow, that we don't have to work in order to prove our worthiness, that we don't have to strive in order to accomplish and be worthy, but we have that peace of God within us, and we tapping into that energy. I really feel then we're able to slow down and be so much more in the here and in the now, and access that creative energy. And really, what is that frequency that we're tapping into? It really is the frequency of love. It says in Genesis, this is the accounting of heaven and earth, Bihi Bar'am, when it was created. And it says, I think in the Medrash or the Zohar, I'm not sure, but Bihi Bar'am is the same letters as Avraham, that the world was created with this energy of Avraham, of love, that God wants to desire this relationship with us. And it's this frequency of love that is pulsating through the world, through the universe. That is this creative energy. It's the energy of love. And when we really, really embody this and live from that place of like this, the energy that's being recreated at every moment is this energy of love, of expansiveness. What happens? We tap into this place where we are love. Right? We are love. We are loved. And that is really this higher vibration energy. That is the frequency of God. That is divine energy. And then when we come into it from that place, then, we can't choose in life whether people are going to love us, but we could choose to be loving, right? We can't choose how other people are going to respond to us, but we could choose to be like, I'm love. I am going to be in my frequency, this true highest frequency of myself, which is love. And then when we're in that space, even boundaries that we give over, because boundaries are a very important part of love, that we're able to give over boundaries from a place of love and from that energy of, and if someone does get upset at us because we made a boundary, right? If we're coming from that place of love, that's their problem, right? That's not our problem. But that really is the energy, and this higher frequency energy that's really available for us.